Hey, fellow theme park fans, here with Dalton the Authenticator.
Hello, folks.
Alrighty, so I found this story and I sent the title of this video to Dalton. It was like, Walt Disney's a hotbed of crime, baby. We got to talk about this. Apparently, a Philadelphia police weren't sure where the crime took place, so they reported that it happened at the Magic Kingdom. I thought, okay, this is silliness, so let's find out what this is all about. I think it'll be fun and entertaining. At least I haven't read it yet because it's one of those I was like, okay, are they taking this crime that happened in Philadelphia at all seriously, or is it hey, it might have happened at Disney, I don't know.
Yeah, so, when he sent me the title, I had this double take moment of like, what the frick does Philadelphia have to do with anything?
Well, you know what? We're going to talk about what the title is, how that Disney's become a hotbed of crime anyway, because recently there have been things. So, and there's actually a movie coming out that is all about the theft, the crimes that do happen on Disney property, including the theft of an audio animatronic from an old Epcot exhibit. This, this right here, it's talking about, okay, it's the 50th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. People love to go there when they're wanting to feel like a kid again. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I like going. I've been going my entire life for 50 freaking years. So, you know, but it says, but lately Fantasyland has become a major hotspot for criminal activity like aggravated assault and homicide. At least that's according to an NBC 10 investigation that looked into Philadelphia Police Department's records of criminal activity. Investigators discovered a practice that has been taking place for almost 10 years. For close to a decade, anytime police officers couldn't record an exact location at which the crime occurred, its officers made a typo related to the location of the crime. The department would mark the crime with alternate GPS coordinates. And those coordinates were Cinderella's castle at the Magic Kingdom.
Okay, that's a bit irresponsible. And I know, right? I would imagine Disney's lawyers is like, you're going to get a visit from the mouse. Ha!
Well, yeah, and of course, no Philadelphia crime is ever going to be solved with this. Shrika Crawford, a resident of Philadelphia and mom of Shaquille Barber, remembers with great pain the day a gunman killed her son. The pain never goes away and never gets better. Crawford said during an interview, Barber was killed on 68th Avenue in West Oaks. But according to Philadelphia Police Department paperwork concerning the crime, Crawford's son was killed not on the 1700 block of 68th Avenue in West Oak, despite the fact that his family witnessed the crime. Instead, the department's paperwork shows that young man was killed at Fantasyland inside of Magic Kingdom. That right there is a bitch. It is a bit of a slap in the face to the victims' families.
Yeah, a bit. Also, there surely must be some kind of geographical equivalent to John Doe or Jane Doe, because that's the universal lingo for we don't know who this person is. So surely there must be some kind of geographical version of that, but it surely shouldn't be Disney.
Especially if you're in Philadelphia. If you're at least you're in Orlando or Kissimmee or any of the surrounding areas.
Yeah, that
might make sense.
The shorthand,
Like if you're in Buena Vista, put it in Disney. Okay, fine, we get it. Yes. But if you're in freaking Philadelphia, why are you putting Disney, especially when you have witnesses saying it was right here? That's people.
Yeah, that's the other thing is you know where this crime took place and you just failed to record it because why?
So it goes on to say the unthinkable crime against Barber is just one example of the scores of crimes that took place in areas under the jurisdiction of Philadelphia Police Department, but have been recorded as having taken place in Fantasyland. In the case of Barber's murder, rather than the department logging the location, officers incorrectly recorded the location as the 1700 block of North 68th Street because there is no such location. The incident was instead assigned. Okay, we already read that part, or at least they're repeating. The practice conveys the wrong message. The police department doesn't really care. The director of Drexel University Criminology and Justice Studies, He goes on to say, but Kane says the practice is not uncommon. In fact, it's a practice used by multiple police departments as a way of addressing incorrect information about the locations of crime. But right now you have witnesses saying it happens right there.
Yeah,
in the past,
you have the available information. There's absolutely no reason to be lazy with it.
It goes on to say, in the past, the Los Angeles Police Department used coordinates of its own headquarters for crime reports, in which officers recorded incorrect or imprecise data about the location of the crime. But across the board, the industry standard is to use coordinates 0, 0, 0, which I guess is what you were talking about.
Yeah,
which is somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean to reduce confusion.
Yeah, the geographical equivalent of John Doe or Jane Doe. That makes more sense to me. Also,
yeah, also
putting
since
it
it's
at
in
the precinct would also make more sense to me.
Yeah, or if they put it in the middle of the ocean, obviously nobody's going to go there.
Everyone knows that this is a universal no-go zone. So
if you put it in Disney World, now you have a place to investigate. That's the
and
whole
now
thing.
Disney's lawyers are going to go, you're going to be hearing from the mouse.
Kane explains that it's not commonplace practice to choose a location such as Disney. I don't think you would want your crime or a crime committed against somebody close to you kind of minimized by the very agency that's supposed to be investigating, trying to make it right. Kevin Thomas, Philadelphia Police Department's Director of Research and Analysis, said he knew nothing about the use of Disney World's coordinates in crime reports until the NBC investigation brought it to his attention. Maybe, maybe not. He was told by others within the department that the decision to do so was made more than a decade ago. And it says, in no way was this meant to be humorous, Thomas said. How are you not thinking it would be not taken as a joke?
Also, this has been going on for a decade. You will be hearing from the mouse's lawyer, because that is just how this is going to work. I have a feeling.
If I were the Barbar family, sue them. Sue them for that, and then sue whoever named you because you sound like an elephant family. In no way was this meant to be in any way humorous, he says. Disney World was chosen intentionally so that the incorrect or bad data reports wouldn't muddle Philadelphia crime statistics. I just totally misread that. Go ahead.
If this has been going on for 10 years, that's a class action lawsuit. Never mind just the one family. That's everyone who's ever been on the wrong side of this can sue. And I'm betting dollars to donuts that Disney would help that class action lawsuit.
Considering Disney has its own crimes and misdemeanors to deal with. It was just an innocuous location chosen within the U.S. that would obviously not have anything to do with Philadelphia, but it has something. It's a real place. But there's concern that such practice, though it helps to avoid confusion in Philadelphia crime stats reporting, could create confusions about crimes committed at Disney World in Lake Buena Vista, Orange County, Florida. As part of NBC's efforts, investigators search crime reports to have taken place at Fantasyland on the Philadelphia Police Department's website. Per their investigation, data pulled from July 14th, 2022 showed 799 crimes, all of which took place in Philadelphia, to have taken place at Walt Disney World since January 2022, including 6 homicides, 2 rapes, and 69 aggravated assaults. Wow.
Here's the other thing. If this is a crime that you know happened somewhere in Philadelphia, shouldn't it be put in the crime statistics somewhere for Philadelphia? And also, doesn't this muddy the waters for Disney's crime statistics?
Well, that's what they just said. That's what they just said. It skews. And what about modern day, where you're on Twitter and something in California can feel just like it happened right down the road? For me, anyway. I'm in Florida.
I mean, they still get mad in Britain over the George Floyd thing. So yeah.
Yeah, and they have nothing to do with it. Yet because of the internet, because of social media, the world has gotten smaller.
It's a small world.
So yeah, it feels like everybody's involved in everything. Most of the time, the people complaining about stuff that's happening in your state and your city and so forth don't even live there. Will never even consider going there. Maybe not me, because I live, down the street and around the corner from Disney.
Yeah,
But
this
you
is
get what I'm saying.
literally your backyard. But yeah,
yeah, and we truly thrive on the fact that people want to come see our neighborhood. The research and analysis director claimed that the practice never impeded the department's ability to deal with crimes and that only 2% of the crimes committed in Philadelphia were mapped at Fantasyland. Since the NBC investigation, the department has formally changed its policy. Thinking through this a little bit further, speaking to some of the leadership at the PPD, we made the adjustment, says Thomas. The department now plots inaccurate crimes in the Atlantic Ocean, just like they always should. Or
why
at least
weren't they doing that to begin with? Is the question.
Okay. As is the standard procedure across the law enforcement agencies around the country. While guests have been arrested for crimes at Disney World from time to time, the crimes shown on the Philadelphia Police Department's websites were not among those incidents. All righty. Yeah, that seems freaking crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm gonna channel my inner Killdeer here for a second and say that 2% of Philadelphia's crime statistics could still be a considerable number of crimes because it's Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, 697 assaults, they said. So yeah, if that's only 2%, yeah.
Yeah, 2% of a major city's that's known for crime statistics is still a large number of crimes that are being falsely reported to Disney.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous and such. So, of course, a lot of the news and as we transition these days have become kind of focused, let's say, on the fact that we are now going through a hurricane. And if you see me go, whoa, as I just did, it's because I've got my window open over here. This my green screen right behind it is a window I was thinking about, but it's dark. So it will be something because I'm hearing the wind out there right now. It's picking up. They say we're going to get the worst of it around 2 o'clock. So hopefully the power won't go out. But yeah, there's a few interesting stories that I found. And I thought it might be fun to talk about. But there is, by the way, a movie coming out, and it's going to be all about the crimes that were committed on and around Walt Disney World. And you did get a lot of stuff. There was one guy just a year or two ago who was caught with thousands of dollars worth of stuff. He had found like a storage locker behind Epcot. So before he would leave work, he always stopped by there, and he was selling on eBay costumes and props and so forth from attractions. And
well, I mean, kudos to him for being industrious, if nothing else. But yeah,
well, I mean, if you want to talk about being a better criminal, he did it wrong because he sold stuff while he was at Epcot, and because he didn't get caught the first time, he kept going back. You know, this is one of those things: grab what you can and then stop, and then let it be a mystery.
And then after whatever statute of limitations or statute of focus, then maybe try again.
Exactly. But this movie is also going to focus on the theft of an audio animatronic from one of the forget, it took place in the what was that called? Not the Tree of Life, the body thing where you could go through God damn it. I used to have a memory. It was in Epcot. It had to do with a body, and there was this one attraction that had an audio animatronic. He had glasses and everything, and it got stolen. And they're going to be doing a movie. I can't wait to see it. Actually, I like that kind of thing. It's kind of morbid, but the truth is people do die on Disney property.
I wonder how many of the deaths which totally don't happen on Disney property they'll go into.
That does happen. As a matter of fact, when I worked at the Tiki Room, I walked out. I'm like, what the heck are you guys doing? Because like they had let all the ropes down and people were moving. Oh, a guy passed out. I said, holy shit, went over and called everybody and got medical coming in and everything. Tiki Room is not a very popular attraction anymore. I mean, when it's busy, it's busy. But when it's not, when it's medium and such, it's not a popular attraction. So there will be times when there's just nobody in the queue and there's only one person. Or at least there was when I was working there. And mind you, this was 30 years ago. This is a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But it was a case of
it's probably even worse now.
There was nobody there because I was supposed to go into the show, and then when the show's done, I come out and deal with the queue, and then I go into the show, and then, you know, and that's it. Nobody's really dealing with the people in the queue. You just have the one person with the tickets. They can't see on the other side of the room. And this guy passed out, and I don't know what happened to him. He was wheeled away, but you do have people dying on property all the time. They just don't announce it until they don't pronounce them dead until they're off Disney property.
Yeah, because Disney does not, people do not die here, otherwise it ruins the illusion.
Well, there have been a number of suicide attempts. There's been accidents and so forth and so on. There is a dark side of Disney, and I like saying that, but in all honesty, a lot of it ain't Disney's fault. Then you get the case of some people getting injured because they don't respect the ride. Some guy gets dragged by a boat because he jumped out of the car. That's on him. I'm kind of amazed
that cucumber story from a couple of years ago that we talked about didn't end up in injury.
There last year it was. It's the videos on this. We did our due diligence, reported, commented on it. Check out the video. Usually with those, I always title. I want to title the videos "Stupid Guests" because it's stupid guests. And there's just been a whole bunch of stupid guests fighting and stealing and just generally not doing the right thing when you're at Disney World. And here's the right thing. Go to Disney World. Enjoy yourself. Go home. That's it. That is all you have to do at Disney World. Go to Disney, enjoy yourself, go home, done. And yet people can't follow those simple instructions, and they end up fighting or screwing around or breaking something. It's ridiculous.
Because nobody has an off button for their personal drama, unfortunately.
Apparently not. Yeah, the fighting thing I just don't understand. And here's why. Somebody pisses you off at Disney World, leave. Just walk away. What are you trying to win? Honestly,
you will likely never see this person again because it's people from all around the world, and you will only see them while you are in the vicinity of Disney.
You're making somebody who means nothing to your life into somebody who means everything. If you end up in freaking jail because you got into a fight at Walt Disney World, you just made somebody who means nothing in your life mean everything.
And you probably also caused yourself and or them to become internet famous for a cycle or two. Which
I'll tell you.
And there are some people, I'm sure, who court that, which is the other problem. Some people court.
Unfortunately, but there's a family now. Once again, we have a video on it here. It happened last year, and there's one that just happened earlier this year where two families started fighting. Why? I don't get it. Now, there's other accidents and such like this that happen. There's a couple of books that talk about stuff like this. So I think somebody making a documentary, okay, I can see it. But there were things that happened like there was rainstorms and such, and there's this curb that goes around Epcot where you're exiting, and at the base of the curb, there's a big old lake. And this mother and son, right into the lake. And it wasn't until summer when the waters receded that they see a car there. So, you know, there's always there are accidents that happen at Disney World. You know, the guy who got crushed in the monorail, in the front of the monorail, that ended up making it so people couldn't ride in the front of the monorail.
It's statistically inevitable because there are millions of people going in and out of Disney every single day, all conglomerated together, all mostly focused on their own lives and their own vacations and so on. So it's going to happen. But yeah.
So it's just a situation. Now, I don't want to, once again, in no way, shape, or form, make any of this seem less than it was. The guy lost his life, and it's horrible. But it was human error in the docking bay. It wasn't like they were having guests there or anything like that.
It's
horrible
death by
accident.
sheer merciless statistics, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was, and I gotta say, I hated the fact that they said that people couldn't ride. It's kind of the same thing like when the young lady was pulled under by the killer whale, the trainer. My first thought was, God, that's horrible. But I couldn't feel bad for the trainer because all of a sudden I'm arguing for the other side because everybody's like, oh, SeaWorld should be shut down. Bullshit. SeaWorld does great stuff. Blackfish is bullshit. That's flat out. Blackfish is bullshit. Done. But the thing is I thought, wait a second. You guys want to close down this park? And I'm very sorry for the woman and her family. But I've lived here my entire life, and SeaWorld has been a lot of that. And I could
it's millions of people every single day. If you happen to be the one person in a million,
they did 1,000 shows.
Several million. Yeah,
they did 1,000 shows where a killer whale didn't do that. They did thousands of shows where killer whales didn't do that. And I, once again, don't want to take anything away from the damage that was done to that woman and the woman's family. But the truth is that people lose their freaking heads over some of this. And I couldn't say anything like, oh, no, that was horrible. It was really horrible what happened because while they were trying to paint this whale as some sort of psychotic serial killer, more than likely it was playing around and got aggressive.
Yeah,
and it
because
doesn't
it's still
much.
a wild, it's still animal at the end of the day.
What was the gorilla lady's name? Jane Goodall?
Yes.
Okay, Jane Goodall was around gorillas a lot. If one of them just casually decided to hit her, like just playfully, Jane Goodall is a splat on a freaking wall.
They're 500-pound animals, and they are significant. They're stronger even for their size than humans are proportionally.
Doesn't mean that the gorilla is a serial killer. Anyway. Look, I think we're going to end this here. I like we've spent 21 minutes talking about this crime at Disney. It's ridiculous that they're putting crimes in Magic Kingdom when Magic Kingdom has its own stuff going. From, I think, hey, MK, oh, yeah, we're doing a live stream for pretty much nobody, but we're getting all wrapped up. Thanks for stopping by, man. Please leave a like and a comment in the comment section when we load up this video. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about as far as stuff that happens here.
The dark side of Disney is dark enough without adding to it.
Child sex trafficking. There was a there was a slew of Disney employees who would go to hotels and rob cars. There's been a lot of crime committed at Disney by employees and non-employees alike that if you really do your homework, yeah, you could come up with a film's worth. Yeah. But yeah, I bet you didn't even hear about, because you kind of backed up like child sex trafficking. You know.
No, I've known that it's happened before, but it's still one of those things of like that's even more than your run-of-the-mill homicide or murder or what have you. It's like, because that's something complex and premeditated, and you need runners and people behind the scenes, and so like that takes effort to construct. And that's
when I was young, we begged my mom, "Oh, let us run around by ourselves. We're big kids now, 10, 11. We finally got to do it." And my mother said, I straight up, "I will never send anyone to get you. I'm the only person who will find you. So if anybody comes up and says your mom wants you to come with me, you go find an employee and you get them to call the police." And this is one thing, and I will recommend to everybody, and maybe we should do a video based on these kind of things. You find a meeting place, but
surviving dark Disney, we could call it.
Do not make it a big place. Like, oh, we'll meet at the castle. Yeah, where? The front, the side, this side, over here? No. Make it like there's a Cinderella statue outside of the toy store near the castle by the carousel. It's small. There's a couple
something specific that most people aren't going to pay that much attention
and
to.
As you're approaching it, you can see the whole thing and all the area around it. so you could see your family there and you could see your family coming. That way it's not really big and you can make a mistake, or you don't want to. My wife and I used to do this all the time, and that's when I came up with this. No, we're doing it wrong, because we would realize we're saying the same words but speaking a different language. You know, where, oh, you mean, okay, we're going to do this. And she interpreted it one way, I interpreted it the other way. And then,
it's like when you're describing something to draw to someone else, what makes sense in your head procedurally doesn't translate.
Exactly. Always make it a little bit smaller and such, and have plans. Like if your child gets lost, go to the nearest ride. There's always a person at the front of the queue. You have your children go to that person and have them contact someone saying that they are lost and missing. We'll do a full video on this kind of thing, I think. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you to Dalton, the Authenticator, for joining in this conversation. And please, by all means, click like, share, subscribe, do all that. And thank you to everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all the true believers and theme park fans, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good day.
Cheers.